What is going on, everybody? Thammagotcha here, and welcome into another Ultra League video. We're going to be using Shadow Willow and Sandslash, Cresselia, and Skeledirge, burning the Ultra League with this team. I climbed a lot of elo. I lost a lot of elo with the Master League in the Holiday Cup. Stopped playing for a bit, and you know what? Here we are again, back in the Ultra League. All leagues available, so let's jump into these battles here and check out this team. So Shadow Willow and Sandslash into Galvantula. This is a pretty good lead as long as we don't get baited with the lunge. So I am going to shield up the first one just in case they want to go for the discharge, which they do. Great shield for us. That would have done massive damage. Now out comes a Jellicent. Unfortunately, I throw on not great timing, giving them a full hex, which in this matchup is not the greatest because with another full hex, Jellicent is going to be able to flip this matchup, especially down a shield, but they decide to no shield that as well. So I'm going to shield up this move. Hopefully it's a Shadow Ball, which it is. You love to see it. And I'm going to go for the full farm down, but my opponent gets to a move. Just a surf. We are going to be able to survive that surf. And now I'm going to swap out into my Skeledirge right away. They're going to be throwing a move, probably going to be a discharge. Lunge would be resisted. So discharge coming in, that does not do a whole heaping load of damage. And I recognize this team from afar. And my Skeledirge just has so much work ahead of it. Going for another disarming voice. Is this going to be getting the shield? Hopefully it is. It is. That is super nice. Is my opponent going to allow me to get to another one? Yes, they do. Disarming voice comes in. That puts that Mandibuzz very, very low. We're gonna have to let this move go through. No shields available. What I'm gonna do now is a little bit unorthodox. I'm gonna come in with my Cresselia, considering I know they have another move banked. Foul play, not gonna be enough to KO, and I have the back-to-back ice punches locked and loaded. So ice punch knocks out the Mandibuzz. One Shadow Claw coming in against this Galvantula here. That gets the final shield, and from here, Cresselia should just be able to finish off the match, but my opponent concedes, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. Hopping into the next matchup here, Shadow Willow and Sandslash into Dragonite. Very good lead for me. Drapion comes in. I'm going to farm up some energy here. Bait with the Ice Punch. Ice Punch, hopefully getting that shield because they don't want to take super effective damage from the Drill Run. So I'm going to no shield the first one just in case they do get the debuff here. And I'm gonna go for my Drill Run next. Gonna shield up this next crunch. That would definitely knock us out, and I kind of want to keep my Shadow Willow and Sandslash alive for that Dragonite in the back. So Drill Run coming in, massive damage. Gonna be farming up more energy, and then gonna try and catch a move on my Cresselia. It is super effective damage, but Cresselia is an absolute tank, and we can take another crunch. But we decide to farm all the way down. They come in with a Dragon Tail Dragonite. Shadow one at that, very nice. Moonblast almost one shots the Dragonite. My goodness gracious, you love the damage. Dragon Claw not even enough to KO, and now in comes the Skeledirge. Okay, ooh, this would get really dicey. Future Sight does massive damage. 1-to-1 shields. This Skeledirge has so much energy. I come in with the Alone Sandslash just to get the last shield here. They farm us down, and now I have to call to make. Is this a Shadow Ball or disarming first? No shield. Disarming voice calling that. Oh my goodness. Gonna shield up the move, and I'm gonna throw right away. Considering their switch clock timer shouldn't have been up yet. Shadow Ball gonna be enough to knock out the Skeledirge. One Incinerate is gonna knock out the Dragonite, and that's gonna be a good game. Well played to my opponent there. So hopping into the next matchup. A Pidgeot lead. This is a great lead for Willow and Sandslash, although after a couple feather dances, this can get a little bit dicey because Ice Punch is not the most damaging move, and with a double debuff, it doesn't do a whole heap load of damage to this Pidgeot. So I'm gonna no shield the first one. Feather Dance comes in, and you're gonna see how much an Ice Punch does. It's gonna take at least 3 Ice Punches because the Shadow Claw damage is double resisted due to that normal typing. Gonna no shield this one as well. Gonna call it, they're just gonna go for a double Feather Dance. And CMP tie, which is it's okay. Ice Punch coming in. One more should do the trick, but another CMP. I'm gonna call it, this is now the Brave Bird. Considering they baited twice, there's no need for me to take a Brave Bird to the face. We're gonna be able to win switch advantage, but the issue with that is I am now double debuffed, and they have a Alolan Sandslash of their own. So again, this can get a little bit dicey. My Cresselia does not want to see it, but up energy, this Alolan Sandslash could take care of my Skeledirge before the Incinerates do their work. So Ice Punch coming in takes care of that Alolan Sandslash. I'm lucky enough that they decided to shield, so I will shield back. They bait with the Ice Punch. That is brutal. I should have did one more Incinerate to have the move locked and loaded, but this is such a commanding matchup for Cresselia with Future Sight that I didn't really want to risk them getting to multiple Scalds and them getting so many attack debuffs that it's going to take more than 2 Future Sights. But I think if we got another one, 2 Future Sights would have still done the trick. We get the attack fall that time. Do we? No attack fall that time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to over farm, watching my clock there to make sure that I have enough time to swap out so they can't farm me down. One Incinerate goes through. Look at the damage. It is absolutely absurd. Shadow Ball, overkill at this point, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent there. So hopping into the next matchup here, Sandslash into another Pidgeot. My goodness, where are all these Pidgeot leads coming from? But now out comes a Cabalion. Maybe I should have came in with my Cresselia, considering I wouldn't have had to shield the stone edges. But I will give up a shield here. I'm going to throw 2 more Incinerates, maxing out on energy before I throw the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball going to be enough to knock out the Cabalion, but they decided to shield that up, which is completely fine with me. I'll go down both shields and I'll farm this Cabalion all the way down. And now we have almost 100 energy locked and loaded. Back in comes the Pidgeot. Going to be throwing this Disarming Voice. Going to throw another Incinerate and then another Disarming Voice. This is going to get the Pidgeot fairly low. Considering we're at Ghost typing going up against a normal typing, look at the damage. I decide to swap into the Cresselia just to draw out probably their second fighter back there. This is a really common team back in the day where you had Pidgeot on the lead and Cabalion and Virizion in the back. So I'm assuming they have another fighter, and my Cresselia would have made quick work, even double debuffed with that Poliwrath. Or I had the Skeledirge with the smidge of energy. We can honestly survive a Scald too. Helios on the lead. The Spice is nice. Breaking Swipe nerf did not go very well for this thing, but let's see how it performs now. Thunderbolt, massive damage. I'm going to throw 1 Shadow Claw, then the move here. Ice Punch is probably going to be shielded. Nice bait on my end. Another Shadow Claw. Drill Run will be enough to one-shot this Helios here. But they decided to double shield, which is honestly fine by me. I'm going to come in with my Cresselia. I'm going to go for a Future Sight. Future Sight should be enough to one-shot this thing, but Breaking Swipe going to be coming in. Lucky we do not get the debuff. You love to see it, but now they swap into a Tentacruel, and this is where the Future Sight really comes into play. Massive damage onto that bulky Tentacruel. Unfortunately, I played a CMP tie, which I do not win. Shout out Homesize Henry there. But you know what? I'm going to try to undercharge this Future Sight, get a little bit more farm for that Helio-isk. Oh my goodness gracious, when it wants to come back in. And I'm going to no-shield this. Probably going to be another Breaking Swipe, but they decided to go for the Thunderbolt. So now I'm swapping into my Skeledirge, making sure I don't get farmed down. They're going to Breaking Swipe me after Breaking Swipe, but I'm completely fine with that. Going to have to get to this Disarming Voice. I shield this one up. I'm going to go for 1 more Incinerate because I know I can get to 1 more Incinerate before my Disarming Voice. But now in comes a Jellicent. Oh, this is horrible. Oh my goodness. Can I get to a Shadow Ball? Yes, I can. But Jellicent is so bulky. It can take a Shadow Ball to the face. My Incinerates are resisted. All we need is 1 more Incinerate. Shielding up the Surf. Oh my gosh. I should have waited a turn, come into my Cresselia to catch the Surf, but it is what it is. We live on 1 HP, getting to the Future Sight to knock out the Helios. My goodness gracious, to make the beautiful 5-0 Cresselia. Those IVs coming in clutch. You love to see them. Woo! Try this team out. It works out really well for me. It got me to leaderboards, 73rd on the leaderboards before the Master League and the Holiday Cup came into play. So it was really strong. Honestly, Skeledirge is a beast. Love it. So again, thank you all so very much for watching. If you guys are liking the content, please comment down below if you want to see anything in the future. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because it really helps with the channel and it's greatly appreciated. And we'll see everybody in the next video. Bye.